So this lesson and the two after this are all to do with commission. So this first one, we're going to look at one concept of what's called straight commission. And what all straight commission is just basically saying that you have a job. You are not making an hourly wage, a salary of any sorts. You are strictly, the amount of money you make is based on what your sales are. So if you sell a lot of product, you're going to make more money than if you sell very little. So the more you sell, the more you make. That becomes kind of the incentive of using and earning money through commission. So if you don't feel like you can sell a lot of product or feel like you've got strong sales sense, then you probably don't want to earn your salary based on commission alone. So looking at this, we're going to go through a few examples where there's different scenarios where commission can be one of those options that you earn your money. One prime example of that is selling houses. So when we look at Jasmine, she's a real estate agent and she's earning straight commission, meaning she is only making money when she sells a house. She doesn't have an hourly wage. She doesn't get money. If she sells no houses in a month, she's making no money that month. So her commission rate is 4% of whatever the price of the house is that she sells. So this week, Jasmine sold a home that has a selling price of $255,000. And we want to know, how much is she making on that house? What's her commission? So always when we start to look at these, you've got a percentage in here. And so for us to use this on our calculator, we'd have to use our percent button or something that we always know. We always know percent is always out of 100. So we could take that 4 and divide it by 100, and I am going to get 0.04. So again, we start to use these pieces like this, just like when we were doing the deductions and we were dealing with percentage, this still holds true. So we're going to we want to know she's going to make 4% of the selling price of this home. So that means we're going to take 0.04 times it by the $255,000. And when we multiply these two together, that percentage times the dollar amount of whatever the product is, we end up finding out what her commission will be. So that will be kind of the standard rule of thumb as we work through these. So when we multiply these together, we find out that her commission is $10,200 for selling this one home. Now, this is gross. There is no deductions being taken off of this yet. So in reality, she would have to there'd be deductions that come off of this. So Jordan earns straight commission for selling appliances. So some positions, some jobs, depending what you're doing, it may be they don't hire you, a company doesn't hire you and give you an hourly wage. They say, hey, you sell our product, and the more you sell, the more you're going to make. So his commission rate this time is 3.5%. And this week, Jordan sold $22,595 worth of appliances. And we want to know how much is he grossing. So before deductions, we want to know what he's making. So again, there's that percentage piece again. So we're going to take that percentage piece, divide it by 100. And then we're taking that percent and we're timesing it by how much product he sold. So in this case, the $22,595. And we find out that when we multiply those together, we're going to get a number. When you put it into your calculator, it's going to come out like this. So this, again, I just want to refresh your memory. When we're dealing with money like this, you always want 2 decimal places, dollars and cents. Okay, money, you're only dealing with 2 decimal places, never 3. So this third decimal, you always look to that third decimal to see if it's a 5 or higher. If it's higher, 5 or higher, then it's going to bump this decimal place to the left up 1 spot. So really, this is $790.83. Okay, that is his commission. That's his gross income because that's the only thing he's making when he sells appliances. So because this is gross, again, there's no deductions that have come off of this yet. Okay, another scenario. Ethan earns commission selling insurance. His commission rate is 4.3%. This month, Ethan sold $42,500 worth of insurance, and we want to know what his gross income for the month is. So in this instance, again, we are looking at that percentage. So taking that 0.043, because we've taken that 4.3 and divided by 100. We times it by total sales, so total amount that he sold, which was $42,500. And when we multiply that together, we discover that he made $1,827.50. He wishes it was 18,000. Okay, that's his gross. Now again, that's gross. That's not with deductions. So let's take this question a step further and start calculating out what his deductions are to see what his actual, his net income or his take-home pay is going to be. So again, so if he's got deductions of, in terms of a percentage of 14.5% of his gross pay, well, we need this in terms of dollars, right? Money, because 14%, we don't know how much of that comes out of his gross. So again, because it's a percentage, divide by 100, you're going to take the 0.145, and we are going to times that by his gross pay, which is $1,827.50. When we multiply that together, we find out his deductions are $264.99. That's deductions. Now, to find net pay, we've done this in the past where we're going to take our gross and we're going to subtract our deductions from it. So our gross being $1,827.50, subtract his deductions of $264.99, and we get a grand total of Ethan's take-home pay is $1,562.51. So that is what he is taking home for the month. That's for a whole entire month. So he's probably going to want to sell a little bit more worth of insurance every month to bump up what he's actually taking home. Okay, the next one. Denise earns 3% straight commission. So again, no additional salary, no nothing else added on to this. This month, she sold $52,875 worth of merchandise, and we want to know what her monthly gross pay is. So same thing as before, you're taking that percentage, you're going to have 0.03 times total sales, which is $52,875. And when we multiply that together, we get $1,586.25. That's the gross pay. So the second part of this then gets into her actual deductions. So again, we look at deductions of 12% for her, just her regular deductions. She also pays $975 for healthcare, and she pays $295 for parking. So these deductions are already in dollars. This one is still in percentage. So we want to convert this percentage one over into dollars as well, so that we can find out what her total deductions are, so that when we can take them away from her gross pay to figure out what her net pay is. So that 12%, you're going to take that 12% and you're going to divide it by 100. So that means we're going to get 0.12 times her gross pay to find out those deductions. So $1,586.25. And we find out that that is $190.35. So that's just her regular deductions, plus she's got the $975 plus the $295. So when we add up all of her entire deductions, we are finding out that she has total deductions of $203.05. So that's total deductions. Now, we're not asked to find just her deductions, we're asked to find out what her net pay is. So her net pay is just simply taking her gross and subtracting her deductions from that. So in this instance then, what we work on is her gross being $1,586.25 and subtract her $203.05. And she has a take-home pay for the month of $1,383.20. That's net pay. That's her take-home. So for a month, that's if she's got to pay rent and all her bills out of that and buy food, she's might want to be able to try and sell a little bit more moving forward. Okay, another scenario, another example that can come up is we're back to real estate again, selling houses, but this time sold more than one house. Bailey has sold 2 houses, one for $255,000 and one for $304,099, and has a commission rate of 4%. And we want to know Bailey's gross pay. So there are a couple ways that you can do this. You could find the commission for each one of the homes separately and then add those commissions together. Or if it's easier, take and add the 2 houses together right off the bat. Add up all those total sales for the month and then take the 4% of it. So if we add up both home sales, we find out that she has total sales of $559,999. So that's total sales at 4% commission. So we're going to times that by the 0.04 because you're taking that 4, dividing it by 100. And we find out that she is selling or is making commission of $22,399.96. Okay, that is what she's grossing. So there's still deductions that need to come off of that, but that's a pretty nice commission that Bailey is making for the month. Not a bad deal at all. Okay, next one. Joni works in a jewelry store and earns 6% commission on her sales. If she sells a watch for $79.97 and a ring for $135.50, what is her gross pay? So she might have sold this in a morning and she's just trying to figure out how much money she made for that morning. Maybe it was for an hour. Who knows what it is, but we're just going to go through just this scenario to figure out what is she roughly making off of these 2 items. So same as before, just like when we sold the 2 houses up above, we're probably add up all those total sales. You can do each one individually, but sometimes maybe it's just easier. Add up all the sales together, and we find out that her total sales are $215.47. So she's making 6% commission. That's a pretty high commission rate, which is not a bad deal. But she's only sold $215.47 though. So her commission rate of 0.06, because we take that 6 and divide it by 100 and times it by her total sales. And we find out that her gross pay for just selling these 2 items is only $12.93. Sure hope that wasn't what she sold for a week, because holy gee, she's going to need another job. Okay, so that's her gross pay. So Joni's deductions are 8% of her gross pay. Yikes. Okay, so 8% of her gross pay. Well, to find out what her deductions are going to be, we're going to take the 0.08 times her gross pay, which is $12.93. And we find out that her deductions are $1.03. So she's actually going to lose $1.03 off of her gross pay for us to find out what her net pay is. So her net pay is taking her gross, subtracting her deductions. So $12.93, subtract the $1.03, and we find out that she actually made $11.90 off of those two items. That's what she's actually going to get. It doesn't seem like a lot. So let's hope that she did that in a short period of time and she's going to make some more sales before either the end of the day or whatever. Okay, last scenario. We've got Terry is a car salesman and earns 4% commission. This month she sold, looks like 3 cars, and we want to find out what her gross pay is. So again, we're going to take all of these sales, the sales of all 3 of those cars, we're going to add them together. And we're going to find out that she had total sales of $62,233. She's getting a commission of 4%. So we're timesing this by 0.04. And we're finding out that her gross pay is $2,489.32. That's her gross pay. Again, that's before deductions. So let's include the deductions. Let's see what Terry's actually going to take home at the end of the day. So Terry's regular deductions are 13.5%. And then she also pays $14.75 for healthcare and pays $4.95 for parking. So let's take the percentage piece, direct deductions. Let's figure out what that is in terms of money. And then we're going to add the other 2 deductions to it. And then we can go ahead and figure out what the net pay is. So the 13.5%, you're dividing that again by 100, which works out to 0.135 times the gross pay. So $2,489.32. And we find out that that works out to $336.06. So that's just her regular deductions of CPP, EI, federal tax, provincial tax, all of those pieces. Then we're going to add in her health. And we're going to add in the parking. And when we add all of those pieces in, we get that her total deductions were $355.76. That's her deductions. I think I added an extra D in there. So we're asked to find, always go back to your question, double check what the question's asking for. We're asked to find her net pay, which is just simply taking her gross and subtracting her deductions from it. So her gross being $2,489.32. And we're going to subtract her deductions off of that. And we're going to find out that she is taking home at the end of the day $2,133.56 for selling 3 cars. So that's not too bad. And that is it for straight commission. So now you can go ahead and work on your practice.